Hello, women who want to write. I see you out there. You have a big job, you have kids, you have a big job and kids, you're holding the world together. Or maybe things have been rough and you're just barely managing to hang on to piece of life together. But in the back of your mind is this nagging thought, I want to write. Hi, I'm Lisa Jones. I am the author of this award-winning memoir, and I've been teaching creative writing to small groups of women for 11 years. In this video, I'm going to give you 3 writing tips. And what the heck? Why don't I just tell you what they are right now? First of all, be willing to write badly and honestly. That's simple, but not necessarily easy. More on that later in the video. Secondly, instead of writing your conclusions about things, write through your senses. How did it smell, taste, touch, sound, and look? There's scientific reasons that that really works. And the third tip is actually get your butt in the chair and write, because writing is a move towards freedom. So let me tell you more about all of that. The first thing I urge my students to do in my classes is drop it all you lawyers, all you PR people, all you women who've had a really rough go lately, all you women holding it all together. Let yourself be bad at something. Be bad at writing. Authors all over the place, especially female authors, exhort the value of writing badly. Annie Lamott, who wrote the wonderful writing book, Bird by Bird, she's the queen of shitty first drafts. She's like, you got to write shitty first drafts. You have to. You can't write a good first draft. It's an oxymoron, which is true. Sometimes you just have to barf the material out and later you cut it into pieces you can use. Jennifer Egan, who won the Pulitzer Prize for her novel, A Visit from the Goon Squad, always says, write badly. If you're going to write regularly, you have to write badly. And it's right behind the bad writing that the good writing appears. So all you honor students, it is a big deal to let yourself write badly, but it is necessary. As much as we fear writing badly, we fear more writing honestly, because we fear writing that our lives are maybe not the perfect thing that they appear to be on the surface. We've been socialized since the get-go as Western women to be like, hi, everything's awesome. So good. I'm so fine. It's just wonderful right now. There's another thing you can let go of if you want to write well. And that goes for personal essayists and memoirists who are writing nonfiction, as well as folks who are just journaling in order to heal themselves, and fiction writers who put their own stuff into their characters and let them work it out. But to drop the pretense of everything being hunky-dory all the time is a very important part of writing well. Here's a quote from Tobias Wolff, who's a wonderful novelist and memoirist. He was writing to fellow fabulous writer Mary Karr as she was writing her first of 3 amazing memoirs, The Liars Club. Here's what Tobias Wolff wrote to her. Don't be afraid of appearing angry, small-minded, obtuse, mean, immoral, calculating, or anything else. Take no care for your dignity. Now that it's such good advice for good writing. Mary Karr, if you've read her memoirs, you know she does not take any care for her dignity. And that's why her memoirs are so compulsively readable. It's why they help us feel less alone with our shadow side. They're really a hand being held out of the darkness because she did not take any care for her dignity. So to write badly and to also write about how your life may not be going so well, or the life of your fictional characters may not be going so well, those are really major steps to take towards writing really well. But what I watch over and over again in my classes is that women do succeed at both these things. They start writing honest, gritty, unpolished stuff, and they start telling the truth about their lives. And honestly, with the groups of women, it takes about this long for them to start sharing some pretty deep stuff. My classes feel like they tap into the power of women telling the truth. It feels like it goes all the way back to Neanderthal times. I can imagine women around a fire having done this, thousands and tens of thousands of years ago. But it makes my classes a place of huge relief and healing and sharing and joy and laughter and tears. Women are bursting to tell the truth. And this bears out in the scientific literature that if you tell the truth, allow yourself to be vulnerable, allow yourself to not write great stuff every single time you write, it does make you happier. In a study examining 63 engineers who lost their jobs, scientists assigned a portion of the participants to write about the emotions they had surrounding their loss. Those who wrote not only felt less anger over the situation of losing their jobs, but also found new employment faster than the group that didn't write. Writing truthfully helps you normalize and process your emotions. Writing truthfully in a group of women, other scientific studies have indicated that if you write your personal story a certain way, just say you had a big victim story going on when you were about 17. I did. And then you got so busy being a Western woman that you never really updated that story. But just say when you were 42, you went to a writing class and were invited to write that story. And maybe you changed the language a little. Maybe you changed the framing a little. It was a little less victim-y. You saw the places you had agency where you had made this decision or that decision. And it actually changes the way you hold your life. And it can increase happiness enormously. Language is almost alchemical in its power. It's almost as if we're goddesses up here casting spells on our own lives. We are our stories about ourselves, and we can tell that story in a number of different ways. And some are more supportive to our well-being than others. So back to writing tips. Write badly, i.e. write honestly, because then some really gorgeous truth comes out and that heals you. My second tip is this. Instead of writing conclusive, amazing, brilliant stuff that comes out of the top of your head, write, what did it smell like? What did it sound like? What did it look like? What did it taste like? And what did it feel like to your touch? Because the sense processing areas of our brain are in the back of our head, down low, next to the emotional processing centers. So instead of writing about how kind your grandmother was in a general way, if you write about the smells of the things she cooked you, it will stimulate your sense processing centers, your smell processing centers in particular, and those will spark up so much that some of those sparks might hit your emotional processing center. The next thing you know, your readers are crying. We're animals. We are not brains in jars. So if we dumb it down in a way and just write through our senses, our writing, our personal writing gets so much more power. I find this to be particularly true in a gratitude writing class I teach, where if they write very detailed accounts of what they're grateful for with the smell, sight, sound, hearing, and touch injected into it, they get more traction in the happy making practice of gratitude writing. Gratitude, by the way, if you have a regular practice of gratitude, it can increase your happiness by 25%. And I believe that. I didn't believe it before I started teaching gratitude writing. I believe it now. And my third tip is write. Put your butt in the chair and write something. Send it to your best friend, show it to your spouse, share it with your kids. Thinking about writing, talking about writing is not the same thing as writing. Writing is writing. So I invite you to a series of free classes and resources I have. I hope you enjoy the writing exercises, and I hope you start getting happier and clearer about your life as a result of this magical practice. This is Lisa Jones. Hope to see you again. Have fun.